Prime Field.
December 28th, 2025, Hinkle Fieldhouse, Indianapolis. The Butler Bulldogs are hosting the #1 team in the country, and for 10 minutes, they cannot score. Not a single basket. Not one. 27-0. A 27-0 run by the UConn Huskies that doesn't just break Butler's will, it announces something new. The final score, 94-47. 50 points in the paint versus 12. 7 assists from a forward. This isn't the UConn offense, you know? This is something different. Something coaches will study for years. They're calling it the point forward vortex. And in 48 hours, on New Year's Eve, Providence is about to get pulled into it. On the surface, nothing has changed. UConn sits at 13-0, 29 straight wins dating back to February, defending the national champions. The machine keeps winning. But look closer at the tape from the last 2 games, and you see the seismic shift. The Huskies have fundamentally changed who runs their offense. Not Azzi Fudd, a 6'2" sophomore forward named Sarah Strong. Against Butler, Strong led the entire team in assists, 7 of them. Not from the perimeter, from the high post, the elbow, the free throw line extended. She's become what analysts are calling the hub. The ball doesn't just go through her anymore. It starts with her. Geno Auriemma has spent 39 years building offenses around his best players. Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird dominated from the perimeter. Maya Moore and Tina Charles ran the high-low. Brianna Stewart did everything. But this is different. This is a forward who sees the floor like Magic Johnson, who manipulates defenses with her eyes before the ball ever leaves her hands. Against Iowa on December 20th, Strong dropped 23 points and 4 assists. Against Butler 8 days later, 15 points and 7 assists. Over those 2 games, she generated 11 assists from the forward position. The assist-to-turnover ratio? Nearly flawless. 4 assists to 1 turnover against ranked Iowa. 7 assists against Butler with minimal turnovers. And here's what makes it lethal. When Strong catches at the high post, the opposing center has to step up. She's shooting 37% from 3. They have to respect it. That step-up becomes the trigger. The weak side defenders instinctively sag into the paint. And that's when Strong destroys them, not with a shot, with a pass. The film from Hinkle Fieldhouse reveals the mechanics. Strong catches at the elbow. The center commits. The wings collapse. But Strong isn't looking where she's throwing. She's using eye manipulation, staring at one defender while bouncing the pass to a cutter slashing baseline. Blanca Quinones, Ashlynn Shade, backdoor, uncontested layup, over and over again. The no-look isn't showboating, it's functional warfare. It holds the help defender for a split second, creating the window. During that 27-0 run against Butler, this sequence repeated ruthlessly. The Bulldogs went scoreless for nearly 10 minutes, 0 for 11 from the field. Meanwhile, Azzi Fudd benefited too. 13 points on 5 of 7 shooting. She didn't have to create her own shot. The ball found her. Strong's height allows her to deliver passes over the top of defenses, hitting shooters in perfect rhythm. It's a symbiotic attack. When Strong operates at the elbow with 4 shooters around her, the geometry becomes impossible to defend. If you pack the paint, Fudd and Shade rain over threes. You extend to the shooters, Strong drives or finds the cutter. Pick your poison. And the Huskies have the antidote for both. Now here's where it gets interesting. 48 hours before UConn dismantled Butler in Indianapolis, Providence faced South Carolina and Columbia. The final score, 96-55, a 41-point obliteration. And the way the Gamecocks did it is the exact blueprint for what UConn is about to do. South Carolina averages 54.2 paint points per game, second in the nation. Against Providence, they shot 52.9% from the field. They out-rebounded the Friars 44-32. The interior defense collapsed. Providence's help side rotations were a step too slow, or a step too aggressive. Their defensive catalyst, Sabou Gueye, gambles for steals. She's a 5'9" rover from Senegal who averages 1.9 steals per game. Against disciplined offenses, that aggression is a weapon. Against elite passing, it's a death sentence. Film shows Gueye lunging into passing lanes, digging down on post players. When she misses, the rotation behind her is non-existent. South Carolina punished this with 1 more passes. Drive, draw 2 defenders, kick out, force a long closeout. Next pass finds the cutter. UConn excels at this exact sequence. Except they don't need a dribble to create the initial advantage. Sarah Strong standing at the high post is the advantage. The third quarter against South Carolina was telling. Providence scored 11 points. South Carolina scored 27. Fatigue, depth issues, conditioning collapse. And now, just 2 days later, they face the #1 team in the country. A team that just scored 94 points on Butler. A team whose offensive system is designed specifically to exploit the defensive flaws South Carolina exposed. On New Year's Eve at Alumni Hall, there will be a game within the game. Sarah Strong versus Sabou Gueye, the hub versus the rover, 6'2" versus 5'9", Order versus chaos. Gueye led Providence with 16 points against South Carolina. She's their best defender and their emotional engine. But she's also their most vulnerable player against the post-hub offense. When Gueye digs down on Strong, she's giving up nearly 5 inches. Strong can see over her, pass over her, shoot over her. If Gueye tries to front the post, UConn will lob it over the top. If she plays behind, Strong will operate the hub, facing up and surveying the floor. The critical metric will be fouls. Guye's aggression leads to foul trouble. If Strong uses shot fakes and pivots to get Gueye reaching. Providence's best defender sits, and without Gueye, Providence loses its only reliable source of energy in offense. Strong's objective is simple. Draw the double team, find the cutter, punish Gueye for gambling. The point-forward Vortex is designed to exploit exactly what Gueye does. She thrives on chaos. Strong thrives on order. When Gueye lunges for a steal and misses, Strong will identify the breakdown instantly and deliver the surgical pass to the open man. The post hub unlocks something tactically devastating. Coach Auriemma can now deploy a 4-out closing lineup. Sarah Strong in the middle is the hub. Azzi Fudd on the wing is the elite spacer. Blanca Quinones is the slasher. Ashlynn Shade is the shooter. Sarah Strong or KK Arnold initiating from the point. No traditional center clogging the lane, just Strong, surrounded by 4 shooters and cutters. Against Butler, the system's versatility showed itself. Fudd, 13 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Quinones, 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Shade, 14 points, 3 of 5 from 3. Balance, fluid, interchangeable. The bench contributed 44 points. Because the Vortex makes everyone better. Movement is rewarded with the ball. Cuts are rewarded with layups. And the defenders, they're caught in no man's land. If Providence packs the paint, the shooters will destroy them. If they extend to the perimeter, Strong will dissect them inside. The geometry is impossible, and the Friars don't have the personnel to solve it. UConn is on a 29-game winning streak. They haven't lost since February 6, 2025. They've forgotten what losing feels like. Providence, meanwhile, is reeling, demoralized by a 41-point loss just 48 hours ago. The trap game narrative exists. New Year's Eve, on the road, small gym. But the tactical mismatch is too severe. The post-hub offense versus Providence's broken help defense. Sarah Strong's precision versus Sabou Guye's gambling. UConn's depth versus Providence's fatigue. The prediction is specific. If Sarah Strong records 5 or more assists with fewer than 2 turnovers from the high post, UConn wins by 35+. Secondary prediction. UConn exceeds 45 points in the paint for the second straight game. Because Providence cannot stop what they cannot see coming. And the Vortex is invisible until it's too late. The dam will break, just like it did against Butler. And when it does, Providence will fold. This isn't an experiment. This is the identity. The point-forward Vortex is how UConn will win its 13th national championship. Sarah Strong isn't just a talented sophomore. She's the engine of the most efficient offense in college basketball. 18.3 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists, plus 28 against Iowa in 34 minutes. Those aren't just numbers. They're championship impact. By positioning Strong as the hub, Auriemma has solved the modern defensive dilemma. Guards get trapped and pressured. But a 6'2" forward at the elbow, that's the release valve, that's the safety net, that's the future. And on New Year's Eve at Alumni Hall, the world will watch as Providence becomes the latest team to fall into it. The projected final score, UConn 88, Providence 52. Not because Providence is bad, but because the Vortex is inevitable. Sarah Strong will finish with 18 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. The Huskies will extend their winning streak to 30 games, and the rest of college basketball will be left asking one question. How do you defend a forward who passes like a point guard, thinks like a quarterback, and sees the floor like Magic Johnson? You don't. You just hope she graduates.
Prime Field!